Okay, so get this. Imagine a world where hacking is impossible no matter how powerful computers get.
Yeah.
That's the promise of quantum communication, and today we're diving into an essay by Jörg O. Schneppat
Right.
that explores using this tech in satellites. We're talking about beaming down unbreakable encryption keys from space.
It's a fascinating concept.
Right.
Instead of relying on complex math that can eventually be cracked, quantum communication uses the laws of physics to guarantee security.
Oh, wow.
Schneppat explains how a property called superposition is key here.
Okay.
Imagine a tiny particle existing in multiple states at once until you try to measure it.
Okay.
That's superposition.
So it's not just a coin flip heads or tails.
Exactly.
It's both at the same time.
Exactly.
Until you force it to decide.
And in quantum communication, any attempt to measure or intercept these particles instantly changes their state,
Wow.
alerting both the sender and receiver that something's up.
So they know.
Yeah, this makes eavesdropping immediately detectable.
That's pretty clever. But how do we actually get these quantum signals from space?
Well, Schneppat breaks down the technology.
Okay.
It involves specialized satellites equipped with photon sources. Think of them like tiny, incredibly precise lasers that emit light particles encoded with quantum information.
Oh, okay.
These photons are beamed down to ground stations, creating the unbreakable keys.
So we're essentially playing a high-stakes game of laser tag with the fate of our data on the line.
That's a great way to put it. Schneppat highlights China's Misha satellite, which has already successfully beamed entangled photons.
Oh, wow.
Those linked particles we talked about, over 1,200 kilometers.
Really?
That experiment proved that satellite-based quantum communication is not just a theory, it's a reality. And now Europe and the US are racing to catch up with projects like the European Quantum Communication Infrastructure
Yeah.
and NASA's Quantum Communications Testbed.
So it sounds like we're on the verge of a global quantum internet.
Potentially, yeah.
Schneppat paints a pretty exciting picture of a future where governments, banks, scientists, everyone can communicate knowing their data is truly untouchable.
He does, but he's also realistic about the challenges.
Yep.
For example, beaming these delicate quantum signals through the atmosphere isn't easy.
I imagine.
Things like rain clouds can disrupt the transmission,
Oh, really?
and aiming the photons with the required precision is incredibly complex.
Wow.
Plus, the cost of building and launching these specialized satellites is astronomical.
So a cloudy day could disrupt global communication.
It could.
And building this technology for space is no easy feat.
That's right. But as Schneppat points out, the potential payoff is enormous. A global quantum internet could revolutionize everything from finance and healthcare to scientific research and national security. The possibilities are almost limitless.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that a global quantum internet could revolutionize communication as we know it.
Yeah.
But Schneppat doesn't just focus on the shiny positive aspects, right?
Right.
He also delves into some potential downsides and challenges.
That's right. He brings up some thought-provoking questions about the societal and ethical implications of a world with virtually unhackable communication.
Right.
For example, what happens to law enforcement and intelligence agencies in this scenario?
Right.
They rely on surveillance to some extent to maintain security. If they can't intercept communications, how do they conduct investigations or prevent criminal activity?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Could a quantum internet inadvertently create a safe haven for criminals?
It's a valid concern that Schneppat acknowledges.
Yeah.
He argues that this technology could disrupt existing power structures and force us to rethink our approaches to security and surveillance. Traditional methods might become obsolete, requiring new strategies and legal frameworks.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we adapt our laws, policies, and even our mindsets to this new reality.
Right.
Schneppat also touches on the potential impact on privacy. Right.
He does. If all communication becomes virtually unhackable, the question of who holds the keys becomes even more critical.
Right.
Could governments or corporations exploit this technology for mass surveillance on an unprecedented scale?
Right.
It's a chilling thought, especially considering the data privacy issues we already grapple with today.
It sounds like a classic dilemma, balancing the need for security with the protection of individual liberties.
Exactly. Schneppat doesn't offer easy answers, but he urges us to engage in open and honest discussions about these issues now before the technology becomes so widespread that we're left dealing with the consequences.
It's a call to action for scientists, policymakers, and everyday citizens to work together and shape the future of quantum communication responsibly. So to bring it back to Schneppat's essay, What are some key takeaways for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they navigate this increasingly complex technological landscape?
Well, I think the first takeaway is simply awareness. Quantum communication isn't some far-off science fiction concept. It's a real technology with the potential to revolutionize everything from personal security to global finance and scientific research.
Yeah.
It's going to impact all of us.
It's not just about geeky science stuff. It's about the future of everything.
Right. The second takeaway is that we need to be cautious and thoughtful about how we develop and deploy this technology.
Yeah.
It has immense potential for good, but it also comes with risks.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful of the ethical implications, the potential for misuse, and the need for safeguards.
So informed engagement is crucial. Don't just blindly accept whatever new technology comes along.
Absolutely. And finally, I think Schneppat's essay reminds us that the future isn't predetermined.
Mm.
We have the power to shape it through the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. It's up to all of us to ensure that quantum communication is used to benefit humanity, not just a select few.
That's a powerful message. We have a responsibility to participate in shaping this future. Schneppat leaves us with a lot to consider. It's definitely a lot to think about, knowing this technology is on the horizon. Where do we even begin to shape its development and use?
Well, in his essay, Schneppat offers a few starting points.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of continued investment in research and development. We need to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, developing new protocols, making quantum devices more efficient, and exploring new ways to apply this technology.
So it's about supporting the scientists and engineers who are leading the charge.
Absolutely. We also need to foster collaboration.
Okay.
This isn't something any single country or company can accomplish on their own.
Right.
International partnerships, open source initiatives,
Right.
and a shared commitment to responsible development are essential.
It's like a global effort, a scientific moonshot for the 21st century.
Exactly. And just as important, we need to educate the public.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand quantum mechanics, let alone the intricacies of quantum communication. We need to break down these complex ideas, explain the potential benefits and risks, and engage people in meaningful conversations about the implications.
So everyone has a voice, not just the scientists and policymakers. It's about creating a society that's informed and empowered to participate in shaping this future.
That's the key, and I think that's one of the most important takeaways from Schneppat's essay. It's a call to action for all of us to be engaged citizens, to learn about these emerging technologies, and to advocate for their responsible development and use.
He leaves us with a sense of both excitement and responsibility.
Yeah.
We're on the verge of something truly groundbreaking, but we need to be mindful of the potential consequences.
I agree. Schneppat's essay is both a celebration of human ingenuity and a cautionary tale. It reminds us that we have the power to shape the future, but we need to do so wisely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Yorgo Schneppat's work, I think it's safe to say that quantum communication isn't just a scientific breakthrough. It's a societal turning point. It presents us with incredible opportunities and complex challenges that we'll need to navigate carefully. Thanks for guiding us through this fascinating topic.
It's been a pleasure, and for our listeners, remember that the future is being shaped right now. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.